Hi everybody, welcome to Jessica Smith TV. I'm Jessica, and today we're here with Sensei Guillermo Gomez. His YouTube channel is Dynamic Zen, so be sure to check it out. But today he's going to share with us some of the 5 most common mistakes that people make during kickboxing and give us some great tips for a safer, more effective workout.
So the first common mistake will be actually locking the elbows and knees, locking up the joints when you're doing the punching and the kicking.
So people just kind of like throw the punch out.
The tendency is to hyperextend, exactly. So when you first start punching and kicking, because you want to put so much intensity and power, you deliver the punches, but you are not really conscious as far as how far do you need to go, and that's when the hyperextension happens. And when you put more intensity, more speed, more power into the movement, and you don't have that knowledge on where the actual joint needs to pull back, that's when the injury happens.
What's the best way to make it safer? So we don't want to extend, and I know that you've told me in the past that you don't want to hold your arm out there. You kind of want to hit something and then bring your arm back into guard.
Correct. So if it takes you 1 second to reach the target, it should take you half second to come back into your guard. That way, when you are doing your punches and your kicks, you're always not only focusing on reaching at your target or your opponent, but also after you deliver those techniques, right away come back to your defense. When you start throwing those kicks, it's important not to overdo and hyperextend the knee. So you always want to kind of like after you deliver, have that control with your quads to pull back the technique without hyperextending the knees.
So that's when we're coming back through what you're calling
the chamber.
Right?
That's called the chamber, that position where the kick actually begins and ends after hitting the target.
One of the second most common things people do wrong in their kickboxing workout is
following that line about the joints, not really utilizing the full body momentum, right? Because what happens is that you might get into a stance, might put your hands up, and then I see people in class just throwing punches, and the punches are only happening on the arms, meaning this, but the rest of the body is not engaging into the punches. The mistake will be not to learn how to use the hip rotation as you punch. The power doesn't really come from your arms, but the power comes from the ground. So you need to have a wide base and a connection with the ground that is going to allow you to suck that power into your legs, then you can bring it into your hips, and the hip rotation is what is going to allow you to transfer that power into your punches. Every single technique that you do on kickboxing engages the body rotation so you can utilize the whole body into it.
Which is why kickboxing is such a great total body workout, right? We're
Absolutely.
literally engaging everything from head to the toe.
Once you know how to perform the basic punches, the jab, cross, uppercut, and hook, and do the basic kicks, the front, the round kick, the side kick, once you know how to do them properly, your entire workout is going to be a full body workout because everything is doing something. The next one will be going back into the punching, raising the elbows before doing the extension. Maybe for the beginner, the idea of raising the elbow, it kind of gives them a little bit more of like power at the time of doing the punches. But the problem is that when you do this, you are completely open. So just like if you look at any professional boxers, elbows are in tight with the body because this is how they can protect the ribs and midsection. And when you throw the punches go out, but the elbow immediately has to come back into the guard. Doesn't matter what the punch is. Doesn't matter if I'm doing a jab, goes back. If I'm doing a cross, goes back. If I'm doing an uppercut, elbow is into the body, uppercut. Then if I'm doing a hook, which is the one that it seems to open, after you deliver that hook, right away, that elbow has to go back into your defense. The whole kickboxing technique with the 4 basic punches, you got jab, cross, which are the straight punches, and those are the ones that you have a certain distance with the opponent, right? So if you're facing me right now, you need to have at least this distance between our 2 bodies to be able to use these punches. But what happens if all of a sudden we have now this distance? you're not going to be able to use the jab cross anymore. And this is when the uppercut or the hook punch comes along, because you don't have the distance. So you are able now to create those openings to go sideways or below. Another common mistake has to do with the lower back and the alignment of your spine, especially when we start with the knee raising or kicking. I think everybody wants to try to go as high as they can, because in a sense, maybe they feel that it looks better when you have high kicks. But in reality, a kick, in order to be effective, doesn't have to be high. It has to be performed properly, and you have to be able to deliver your power into a specific target. In my opinion, the most effective kicks actually happen below. So the problem is this. Let's say that you're doing a basic front kick, and one of the issues is that as soon as the person throws the leg, it seems like, if we look at it sideways, it seems like their shin drops and their backs, they lose their alignment. So when they throw the kick, they kind of hunch forward. And that hunching forward, it creates a lot of stress on the lower back. To really focus on keeping your lower back engaged, chest out, chin up, hands up. Don't go as high. You can still practice your front kicks, but as you extend, think about leaning your body back to even create more space between your face and the opponent's hands.
And the great added fitness bonus of that lean back, from a martial arts perspective, it's for protection, but then you're also going to get that core engagement, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The fifth tip, most important, is the alignment of the wrist, which I see this happening a lot in class as well. People bring the hands up, and as soon as they close their hands, then this starts happening over here. So just think about what will happen if you hit a bag or any hard surface like this. Your wrist is in a terrible alignment, and as soon as you make contact, you're just going to hurt yourself. So what you really need to think about is bringing your hands down with your elbows in, and then you're going to bring your fist and your arms completely straight as you make those fists right next to your face. And you got to feel that wrist completely straight and completely tight right next to you. That way, when you do your extensions and your punches, you already got that alignment on the wrist to make contact with the target or with the opponent. None of this.
And that's also why you recommend sometimes wearing hand wraps, right? Even if you're not doing contact boxing, it can help you.
Absolutely.
That awareness of your wrist.
Absolutely.
Right?
Wearing the hand wraps during your workouts is going to give you wrist alignment. It's going to create the habit. Your body now is going to feel what naturally should be the way for you to train. It's going to give you, just because you got now something on your hand that you can actually grab stronger, you're going to notice that you are doing more contraction on your arms during the workout. And it's more of a psychological element. I do find that when you use the hand wraps, it's like you're psyching yourself now for the training and for the martial arts training, which is a great idea to do.
Well, those are some really great tips. Thank you so much for sharing that with us
Thank you
today.
for inviting me to your channel.
Yes, thank you. And guys, don't forget to check out Sensei's channel, Dynamic Zen, on YouTube. The link is below. And if you have any questions or comments for us, please be sure to leave them below.
And we'll see you soon.
See you next time.